Check one. Check two. Check one. Check two.
Thanks. What else did I want? Jamar, you know that team as well as anybody. It seemed like they really wanted to control the pace that you guys played with. What was the challenge of trying to play at the speed and the pace that you would prefer to play with?
Right, getting stops. We feel like we get stops, then we can play in transition, play fast at our pace. But like you said, they definitely want to play.
Defensively, the offense seemed to kind of struggle at times. What do you take out of a game like game?
Like we did, shot under 40%, so we felt like that was good, and we really locked in on defensive effort. But it would just come out and gonna be a grind game. Coach already told us that, be prepared for that. So.
It seemed like they go out to a 10-4 lead. You guys call a timeout. What was the message there that kind of allowed you guys to kind of regroup defensively, because it seemed like you guys had a different fire out of that first timeout. Kind of what went down in that huddle, and then what kind of transpired?
Lock back in. Coach saying lock back in, get stops. Don't take that lead for granted. We know that, and we know that that's the type of team that's never gonna go away. They'll go give up runs, but they're also gonna fight back to get back in the game. So just stay locked in the whole rest of the time that was left on the clock.
Is that kind of, because it seemed like just another way to win in the Big Ten. I mean, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't like offensively efficient, but I mean,
Right.
do you feel like it's just another example of how you can win in this conference?
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't take winning for granted because we know how hard it is to get in the Big Ten. Like the Big Ten, the best league. So every win is going to be ugly wins, hard wins, pretty wins, things like that. Just do whatever it takes to win and get the win done, because at the end of the day, that's all we care about is the win. So no matter how it look, at the end of the day, as long as we get the win, we satisfied. Definitely.
Just going back to last week's game against Wisconsin, the team's three-point shooting hasn't been as maybe where you guys would like it. But how did you assess your three-point shooting today? I think you guys only took like 3 in the second half. So how did you assess it?
Just stay confident. And coach has been yelling at us, like, find a line. A bunch of our shots that we've been missing, we've been shooting really, really deep, things like that. So just get up on the line. Our percentage is way better when we're closer to the three-point line. So we just take that as serious. But just stay confident. We know it's going to fall. We're going to have some nights that shots not going to fall, and that's when we go back and rely on defense.
And then your turnover total was another number where you could really shine this season. Just how did you assess protecting the ball and just making it where it was today?
Just make solid plays. Don't force nothing. Just give what the defense take us, things like that. Because like I said earlier, all our turnovers be something that we could control. It's not like the defense forcing to us passing, not lead cutting to get open, things like that. So just do the little things in the Big Ten that's going to take care of the ball.
Gene, how did it feel to make the impact that you did? I know you've been pushing and close for more minutes, especially I feel like the three where you faked it and drove and got the dunk seemed to really kind of spark the offense a little bit. What did you like about what you were able to do?
I just kind of stayed the course. I like to come in and just help the team any way I can, make an impact any way I can, whether that's scoring. When I first came in, I kind of gave the team a defensive pop, gave us a little bit of life coming in, guarding the best player, just trying to, limit their offensive flow so we can get our offensive flow going. And, honestly, I just go in and try to, help any way I can, bring energy, whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to try to go out and do it to the best of my ability.
And I know the coaching staff obviously emphasized rebounding. I know that was a big key for this game. You guys did out-rebound them, and that was one thing Micah Shrewsbury talked about. How important was that? How much did you personally focus on that in this game?
It's kind of just a team thing that we kind of focus on, just go hit your man. Last game we played, there was a lot of long rebounds going over our heads, so, we was kind of focusing on that this game. Try to just control as many possessions as we can and just not let them get any second chance opportunities.
In a game like this that's tight, defensive, how big are those hustle plays? Kyle getting on the floor late. There were a number of them that you guys got maybe defensive in. How important are those when the game is as tight as it is?
Real important. If you look at a game, they almost decide who's going to win the game throughout the game when you get them 50-50 balls. Like, watching film last game we played Wisconsin Road, they got a lot of 50-50 balls and they came out with a win. So that's one thing we want to do, like get every 50-50 ball, because every possession matter. So we just try to win every possession.
Gene, just as a team, what did it take for you guys to grind this one out? Like Jamari said, I mean, you're going to have ugly games, you're going to have tight games, you're going to have all kinds of different games in the Big Ten. What did it take for you guys to grind this out in the way that you had to?
I feel like it was our defensive connectedness. The way we were able to lock in on the defensive end, get multiple stops in a row, string together like a chain of stops that allows us to get going on the offensive end. I feel like that really makes a difference in a game like this where, the scoring is not really going where it needs to be, so we can just fall back on our defense.
Does that say something about maybe what the mindset or mentality that this team is developing, where if the shots aren't falling and the offense is struggling a little bit, that you could win a game with your defense?
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're starting to shift our mindset to, trying to focus on that more and more each game, because I feel like defense wins championships, and if we want to get a title or a ring, stuff like that, we're gonna have to focus on our defense and lock into it.
We have time for one more.
Jamar, you mentioned last week how about your decision to transfer to Ohio State. Play your former team on your now home court and see the fans paint their chest with "We got 5-5." What was it like to play your former team on your now home court?
It was low. It was fun. I liked it, especially just going there the first time and all getting all the booze and everything like that. So them coming here, just seeing all the love that I have here is fun, things like that. So it's just exciting always playing them guys, because like some of them guys I'm still good friends with. So just going out there competing and especially getting the win. So that was big. We brought them brooms out today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Surely won't come back on the Penn State beating the Big Ten.
Got a water, carry it all. Thank you. All right, good to be with you guys. Proud of the effort of our group. Thought we did some really good things, particularly on the defensive end. That's a Penn State team that obviously we beat there, but's playing really well. It won 3 out of 4, and it really had taken some teams, Purdue, right to the edge. You're playing them again a month later. Micah's done a great job with them. They are really difficult to play because of how they play, and because they're, you can't speed them up. You can't speed them up. So it's going to be a low possession game, and you got to make a miss. So proud of a lot of things here today. Much better, our best defensive effort since Christmas. We've had some really poor ones. And hopefully, I think we'll get back to making shots. But the biggest thing we got to be able to do is continue to grow in our defensive effort. And this was a good step.
Chris, when they control the tempo and the pace like they try to, how important was it to take care of the glass? And you only had 9 turnovers today.
Yeah, both. They don't turn you over a whole lot, but we couldn't have careless ones, Adam. And I thought their 5 offensive rebounds were able to keep it kind of within a 2-possession game there at halftime. So we really were on our guys about that. But those 2 things were critical. In a game like this, you couldn't take bad shots. You couldn't turn it over, and you couldn't give them extra possessions because they were going to be able to control to some degree the tempo.
And on a day when, like you said, the offense was a little bit of a struggle, did you learn anything about how this team can maybe win a game defensively? That hasn't necessarily been a calling card this season.
No, well, it has at times. Wisconsin, I thought we beat Wisconsin. But to your point, I get your point. It's kind of our offense has been the more significant of the 2 sides. But Wisconsin, we won a game with our defense. Duke, we beat with our defense. I think we just have to continue to be better on that end and continue to grow in our efficiency offensively. We weren't super efficient offensively today. We didn't make a ton of shots, but we got to the line at a really, really high level, which was good to see.
Chris, you just mentioned there, you guys were really good defensively in 2 big wins you got before you won on your pause, and I guess you're trying to work to get that back a little bit. Like maybe of all the things that break impacted, do you think maybe defensive momentum might have been towards the top of that list?
Yes. I think some of our I think we've got to this group has to continue to recommit on that end because we can't overwhelm you with defensive ability across the board. I think at times our offense can be really, really good, but we can't overwhelm you. And pulling a guy like Michi and his ball pressure out, as little as that sounds, that's a factor, especially in a game like this where they're so heavy ball screen centric. But yeah, I think we did. We lost a little momentum, and I think we've got to continue to reconnect. Our Northwestern game, while we scored it, was probably one of our worst defensive efforts of the year. So I just think that in the Wisconsin game, both those games, we had to get that back.
And you guys got to the line 36 times because the team doesn't foul a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I know your free throw rate had not been exceptionally high the last few games. What was the difference in that today?
Thought we did a good job driving it. Much better in the second half. I thought we were settling a little bit, but I thought we drove it really well. Malachi drove it. He's continued to drive the ball better. We got to make more free throws, but getting there is really important. And then when you, in the last 4 minutes of the game, when you can execute and get to the line, that's really how you can close games out. And when we've beaten teams this year in the last 4 minutes, whether it was a Duke game or other games, we've been able to get there and knock them down.
Penn State had a little bit of a hot start offensively, and then you called a timeout. You guys called a timeout, and I'm just wondering, because it seemed like you guys looked like a different team defensively out of that timeout. What was the message there, and kind of what allowed you guys to kind of change the momentum there?
Yeah, we have to guard better. Bottom line, we had followed the scouting report, but it comes down to effort. Like a game like this was going to require you were going to have to play 28 seconds of defense. If you can't do that, they're probably going to beat you. You got to play 28 seconds of defense. Not every time, but in a lot of cases. And I think for the last 36 minutes or 35 minutes, we were really good.
And it seemed like, after Zed kind of went down with that injury late in the first half, and he kind of came up, kind of set the tone for you guys offensively there in that second half. What did he provide early on that allowed you guys to kind of drive focus?
Zed?
Yeah, Zed.
Physicality.
Yep.
Deep post position. Thought he had some really good looks around the rim in the first half. Really good looks that he'll make more of. He just needs to focus on finishing and not play to get fouled. But I thought he had good physicality. I was proud of Zed's physicality, imposing himself.
Chris, just given the way this game went today, it kind of controlled the pace a little bit. A lot of whistles, so it's not really a chance to get any type of rhythm here.
Yeah.
Were you happy with the shots you guys were getting, even if they weren't falling?
I'd go back and look at it, but a lot of them I was. A lot of the shots we were getting, I did feel pretty good about, honestly. Thought we missed some easy ones in the first half. Yeah, I honestly, there's not a whole lot that I looked at and I was like, man, that was a bad, that was not a high quality shot. I just think their defense is good. It's been good since in the stretch here, and we miss some open ones.
And you kind of mentioned already last week, the offense is great, the defense is not. Today, the defense is pretty great, the offense is not. I mean, given how the last month and a half has gone here, do you have a game that you can kind of point to and say that was kind of a complete game for this team so far this year?
I mean, we played pretty well against Wisconsin, beat them by 18. The Duke game, probably Seton Hall neutral. But I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but I would say those were 3 pretty complete games. The game at Penn State I thought was really good on both ends. Those would be a couple. Not perfect, but I'm just saying where we had a little bit of a balance of being, pretty good on both ends.
Seemed like Zed ended up being okay, but what was going through your head when you see him roll that ankle, given the injury issues you've had this season?
Yeah, it's in the midst of the game. You're trying not to feel sorry for yourself. I just went to check on him to make sure he was okay, and I thought Joey came in limited minutes and provided a spark. We need guys to stay ready, and I give Joey Brunk a lot of credit because he really stayed ready and was aggressive when he came in there. But certainly, I'd like to not lose another, player to injury.
You've made a lot of hay this season with downtown shooting. Kind of went away from that today. Didn't shoot a whole lot of threes in the second half. What did you see from Penn State that sort of inspired that?
I thought we were able to attack them inside. I don't know necessarily why we didn't maybe take as many threes. I'd have to go back and look at it. They were switching a lot, which makes you make kind of individual plays with a lot of their switching. I'd have to think about it. But, we always want to take a lot of threes, but we want to take good ones.
Seems like Eugene's minutes are a byproduct of Michi being out, but he played 18 minutes and looked like he was pretty comfortable out there on both ends of the floor. What do you like from what he's doing right now, and do you think that that's going to help him earn some minutes even when Michi comes back?
Well, I thought he made 2 big free throws. I thought he had a nice attack of the closeout, and he's got to be a high-level, high-detail defender. I was really happy for Gene. I thought he gave really quality minutes today, and we need that from him. He's just got to continue to grow in that role. He can really rebound it at his position, he's important for us.
And then you talked about earlier in the season that you're not going to rely on any scoring from Kyle, but it's always a nice boost. And then when Justin's struggling to shoot the way he is, what do you guys need to do, I don't know, to maybe get those guys going, get them a little more active on the offensive end to help you guys, even when you're not having a great day shooting the ball, you could get those guys more involved?
You have to take a look at it. I think Justin's got to find some in transition. He's just got to stay ready to shoot. He's missed some good ones. He's got to stay ready. He gets a lot of attention in this league. When you're as good a shooter as he is for 3 or 4 years, he gets a lot of attention. I've got no issue with how he played today. I think Kyle, he'll start making more threes than he's missed a few here, but I believe he'll start making more. But he did a really good job driving. I thought Kyle Young's activity was really important.
When you guys get into a game down the stretch where it seemed like you just couldn't put Penn State away,
Yeah.
they kept coming back, and you're missing free throws, what do you kind of say to the team, and how tough is that to actually get the win there in the end?
Well, one of the things I've learned is screaming at your team in timeouts, make your free throws, has never worked. So I try to stay away from that tactic. I think honestly, guys just have to relax. And they were getting to the line. We've got good shooters getting to the line. They just have to trust their stroke and make it. I didn't think that Penn State would go away because I've just watched their last 4 or 5 games. So you kind of anticipated that they've got a really good give Micah, give those older guys credit. They have a strong will about them. We didn't anticipate it would be something where we go from 10 to 15 in a hurry.
And then this might kind of sound like a silly question, but with the offensive struggles, what do you do to try to get things kick-started on offense when shots just aren't falling?
Yeah, I think I didn't, honestly, again, I give their defense a lot of credit. Our offense will be fine. That's the least of my concerns. I think our offense will be fine. We just got to keep, guys got to keep taking good shots. The ball's got to move a little bit more than what it did today. That'd probably be my one thing I'd look at.
There was a possession towards the end. Penn State was up, I think. I mean, they were down 5 with about 90 seconds left. It's when Sessoms was coming in and Kyle dove out, grabbed it, and then goes the other way. So that's a big possession when they could maybe cut it to one possession game.
Play the game.
How impactful a player can Kyle be even when he's not scoring, and how big of a play was that in that moment?
Play the game. Just play the game. So it was the difference in a lot of ways, from that thing being a one-possession game is the play of the game. And that's why he's so important. We need more guys to embrace that type of stuff, because I thought we missed one about 2 minutes earlier that was right on the floor in front of us. We missed it. We didn't lay out. That was the play of the game.
I was going to ask about those type of plays. Jamari had a couple steals, things that maybe don't, it's not a dunk or something like that, but in a tight game like that, how crucial do those plays? A number of guys made them today. Eugene, I think, had a back cut that led to a dunk. Just those little plays in a tight game, how much difference can that make?
So important in league play. Those effort plays, an offensive rebound here or there, Gene cutting to get open. We were really trying to get early scores in the first 7-8 seconds of the clock, and I thought we did that at times. But our pace could have been a little bit better, but we were really trying to, just because we knew it would be hard to score at times. But I think those plays you mentioned, they're usually the tipping point kind of one way or the other.
Coach, do you have a timeline for Michi to return? A couple weeks, I think they might have said on the broadcast.
That's kind of what I anticipate. It's really day to day. Obviously, I feel bad for Michi. We miss Michi. Love having him out there. His burst and shooting helps us. But, he won't come back until his injury is healed, until he feels ready to do that. And he's completely cleared from, by the medical staff.
One of the things that Micah said was that their defense tries to make you beat them with individual plays.
Yeah.
How much do you think that is a strength of this team, and how much is that something that you think is a thing you can lean on going forward?
I wouldn't say it's a strength of our team. Individual. Kind of, especially with some, with some guys that could do that. Maybe a Justice and a Michi some. Out. I don't know that that's necessarily a strength of our team, but we certainly have guys that can do it. EJ's a mismatch. Malachi's growing into that role. But I think I understand his point there, because that is how their defense is built. Is really making you play over top of them and make you make plays to beat them. Anything else?